Good evening, how's it going? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. There we go, we got this sorted. Think that's okay. Somebody comes on, tell me if you can hear me and you can see me. Light me up there with the likes and the loves and all that type of stuff. I can see some people coming on there now. Make a few comments for me. Tell me it's all okay. Hi, good evening, how are you? Coming in from Russia, is it? Thanks very much for joining in. Hiya, Nick. Can you hear me, babes? Can you hear me, my man? And is it? Yeah. Hello, bro. Everything okay? You having your coffee? Can you hear me? And can you see me? More to the fact. Yeah, I think you can see me. Yeah. I just threw on a jumper there, you know. I was walking around the house. Hi, Jessica. How's it going? How are you? Good to see you. How are you getting on? Everything okay, Nick? I'm waiting for an L. Okay, somebody give me some likes and loves there. And tag your friends. Tag anybody. Okay, loud and clear. Tag anyone, because I didn't get a chance to tag everybody today because it was great stuff. Great stuff, loud and clear. Thanks, Nick. Thanks very much, because it was a busy afternoon. I went to the gym this morning and stuff. I was out last night for dinner with the guys, the staff. We were in an Indian restaurant. And I brought my wife for a little walk around Dublin last night. You know, hiya Marta, how's it going? I was thinking about you all week. How are you keeping? Are you having a good week? Hiya Rachel, how are you? Hi Terry, how's it going? How are you getting on, Marta? Is everything good? Hiya Rach, flying at you're finished your degree now, aren't you, Rach? You're finished degree. Don't be afraid to talk among each other here while you're on the page, because that's. Hi Annette, how's it going? That's kind of the idea, is that we can all sit around and have a chat, you know what I mean? And that really it's just, that's the best thing about it, isn't it? So we can all talk to each other. And there's a good few coming on today, you know. Great, wonderful. You make my day. Marta, you make my day. Yeah, was it a good after party? I love Manchester, Rachel. It's probably my favourite academy that I've ever worked in. I absolutely love Manchester. There's something very special about it, and it just seems to breed these terrific technicians. You know, they're terrific. Alison, there you are. How's it going? Are you okay? Are you good? Yeah. I hope you're behaving yourself. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you're. I was walking through Grafton Street last night. Actually, hiya Ollie. How's it going? How are you, bro? How are you keeping? I was thinking, Alison. I was walking down Grafton Street, and it was about 11 o'clock at night. And there was some band playing on Grafton Street. You were live on TV, putting decks up. Oh, you're putting the decks up? Am I on the TV? Yeah. Widescreen, my belly. Widescreen, Ned Kelly. You should come over to Lanzarote. You'd be bored now sitting looking at me with me 3 kids, but you'll have a bit of crack. You can drive Nick mad as well. Hi Liz, how's it going? How are you getting on, babes? Are you okay? You know, so am I looking good? Yeah, am I on the telly? It's great to see you, it is. Great to see you, babes. Thanks for everything. Thanks for coming on a Sunday. Tracy, how's it going? Countdown. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah. I'd say you are, Ollie. I'd say you are on it. Yeah, you'd have a bit of crack, you know what I mean? It's nice to get a bit of sun at Christmas, Ollie, you know? I'm working literally living the dream day by day. Would love a bit of Dublin knock, when I'm over in the new year. Absolutely. Dublin was looking. Hiya Scott, how's it going? Dublin was looking beautiful last night. And I don't know who was playing last night on the street. You know, people are always playing in Dublin because it's such a musical city. I'm not quite sure. They're all here tonight. Yeah, make sure you all have a good chat. Tracy, get the wine open for Lanzarote. I tell you, your outfits, I'd be looking forward, because you're fairly sharp, Ollie. I let go completely on holidays. I'm a disaster. Hiya Nikki, how's it going? Welcome, good evening, Wella family. Don't be afraid to ask each other questions. Talk among yourselves. Hi Rano. Talk among yourselves. Talk to me. Ask any questions. Have a bit of fun. This is our bit of time. I felt last week there was a few things, and Marta left it out, that there was a few things about face shapes that we didn't get to, because it was just I had no idea it was such a big subject. You know, it's such a big, so I said I'd look at a few celebrities during the week, and we'd sort of just look at their faces and try to work out, like, you know, well, she's a round face and she's an oval face. Hiya Tracy, hi Michael, how's it going? Alison, great you all. No shortage of that. Absolutely. It would be great fun, actually. Great fun, and it's a nice place to go. The weather would be good. You know, hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, so there was a few things then I just went through, and I said I'd find 3 pictures of each celebrities who have... Are you drunk on the red wine, Kelly? It's usually you with your red lipstick. You know what I mean? You're always the one with the lippy. You know what I mean? You're always giving it a... You know, you're giving it that one, you know. Wella on tour. Yeah, we could go live every day, you know. We could go live from different areas every day. We could do different subjects. It could be great bit of crack. I'm going to get a few of you guys involved in the new year, because there's a few things I want to do, and I was thinking of doing a thing. I was thinking of doing yeah, you are, Kelly, you're a great one for the old selfies, you know what I mean? You're a great one for the selfies. That we can do a thing called hot seat, you know, that if there's certain subjects during the week, you know, that come up, we can do a quick hot seat on it, and if somebody's a particular specialist in it, we can get them to do a hot seat and talk about it. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit more about face shapes, just so that we kind of know who has face shapes and what types of face shapes, because I actually sat down and thought, well, like, who has a round shaped face? Like, and what type of colour do they have? You know, and who has an oblong? And who has a square? Who has a heart? Who has an oval? You know what I mean? Because, like, it's Essex Bird Compulsory. Okay, Kelly, I see that. It's part of living, is it? It's part of it. It's part of it. Anyway, it was very interesting to be in Dublin at 11 o'clock at night for a father like myself of 3 kids, but a business owner. I'd usually be fast asleep, you know. But I got in so late, I didn't even get a chance to finish The Irishman or other TV shows I'm addicted to. You know, so I said, first off, we're going to go through different types of highlighting today, because there was just a few things during the week on the page about sectioning patterns and about highlights. And sometimes, hiya Sean, great to see you, bro. Love to hear you sing. Sean Costello here is one of the most beautiful voices you've ever heard in your life. He could open up the heavens. He's such an amazing singer. So I'm going to talk about different ways, because sometimes we just think of highlighting as being like balayage or baby lights or weave. So we're going to talk about different types of highlighting as we go along as well, which will be kind of interesting. But I said we'll do a bit more on face shapes this week. And we'll just pull out some pictures of people who have round faces and people who have. It's not necessarily about their hair colour, it's more about their face shapes. But it is interesting to see that I did notice that a lot of people like with round faces. He's an amazing voice, Marta. Yeah, it did fascinate me to see that people with round faces don't tend to have like, you know, shadow roots or that certain stuff. Hiya, Dawn, how's it going? Welcome. And I think everybody's on, because it usually takes about 5 minutes for Facebook to make sure that I'm not doing something naughty, and I'm completely in agreement with that. I think Facebook have a very difficult job trying to allow people to be able to go live around the world, but then to try and police it. I just think they do an amazing job, and people are always giving Facebook a hard time, or Insta or anything, but I think they've opened up the world for all of us to learn about education and to be together and to be able to communicate and to be able to decide what we want to do and where we want to do it. And we're very lucky. Yeah, diamonds and hearts are very confusing. So I'm just going to do a heart. You know what I mean? Because diamonds is Cara Delevingne. You know, nearly all the little some of the little beautiful models are that kind of, are like I thought Kate Moss was a triangular shape, but actually she's a heart-shaped head. So there you go. I mean, talked about this last week on the gram and got lost. Lots of engagements. Did you? Yeah. Well, again, I went through it today, Alison, and you'd think I could find... I was trying to find, and like I was looked at Kylie Minogue's hair throughout the... You know, now I know she's quite dark naturally, you know, but I looked at her hair to try and find one where it was ash, and I couldn't. You know what I mean? I found one where it was a bad ash, but I couldn't. So it shows you that the disparity on Instagram with hairdressers doing crazy fantasy-based pictures that are not based in reality and then putting them up, and then clients are bringing them in, that we really are causing our own downfall, and we are killing our own clientele by trying to create complete fantasy hair that's not based on reality or face shape or skin tone or eye colour or bone structure or face type or nothing. And putting up these stuff when they have like a 6-hour probably photo shoot with makeup artists and fake lashes and eyebrow and the whole lot done, and the girl's hair black into grey, and then somebody's bringing that in. You know what I mean? Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker comes back up here today as well, because I think she's an oblong face. Yeah, like her and Giselle are oblong. You know, Sarah Jessica Parker. So she's a little bit of her back up there, but I didn't actually do too much suitability is key, and I feel it is. I really do feel that we need to hear, for everybody on, there needs to be a call to action, you know, to not get into these. It's a rabbit hole of how grey you can get somebody's hair till they go home, wash it and it's yellow again, and then it falls out, and then they blame you, because they always blame you because you did it. So we're going down these rabbit holes trying to create obscure hair colours that have nothing to do with skin tone, eye colour, face shape, suitability, looking good on a Monday morning, looking good on a Saturday night, because that's what built hairdressing, that's what built us, that's what will make clients come back, is making them look beautiful and making them look amazing, instead of going for this obscure fantasy Instagram stuff, because it's not real. Where before, clients, you know, so if you can bring it back to clients being about celebrities, you will find there is no celebrities who have that kind of hair colour. You know, they wouldn't do it to their hair, they wouldn't have a career, you know. Yeah, rabbit holes with bleach, you're right. We're going down these rabbit holes, you know, of trying to, who can create the most metallic colour, like the underlying pigment of somebody's hair will determine whether you get it that colour. Nothing else, not the product, nothing else. And we all know about phelomelanin, we all know about elomelanin, and we all know that you can. I had a girl in yesterday for a head of highlights, and she just should not be blonde. Okay, she should not be blonde. She's a lovely girl. I do her whole family. She's about a base 5, very, very strong underlying pigment, and hasn't got great stretch in her hair. And when you bleach it, it's just not good for her hair. And she wants to be blonde. We're talking like a 916 toner here. You know, you can get it to a level 9. If you go to 10, it's going to fall. It's going to break. Even if it doesn't break on the day, it'll break in a few weeks after that. It's a 916 toner, you know. But I mean, I'm doing her hair, I'm saying, like, what about a Jennifer Aniston? No, it's too dark for me. I like this kind of colour. And then she said to me, you know, and she's buying all the products, she's doing all the stuff, but it doesn't really suit her. It doesn't suit her. I don't like it. You know, it takes me forever to try and make it look in any way kind of natural. I can't put a background or a base in it because it'll go warm because of her underlying pigment, and I can tell by her eye colour. I have to even be careful with toners, you know, so I'm really only looking at maybe not like a 916 in Colour Touch, you know, and 1.9 developer, and working that through and keeping an eye on it, because I don't want to disturb her underlying pigments. Or I'm looking at Relight stroke 86 stroke 18. So, I mean, all the pointers there are that she just shouldn't be blonde, but she just is obsessed with being blonde, you know what I mean? But if she started getting obsessed about being grey, and somebody tried to do it for her, I mean, she'd end up with absolutely no hair. It would probably never grow back. So, you know, it is a little bit of a call to action that when we're looking at these pictures of people's hair and these pictures of different colours, that, you know, you won't find anybody who has those kind of colours. So maybe we should try and get the clients back into looking at that type of stuff. I suppose there is the Kim Kardashian, you know, where they go blonde and then they go this and they go that, but they tend to do it over 6 or 9 months, like Khloe Kardashian and stuff like that, you know. But the other stuff needs to go. So straight off the bat, we'll look at round faces, okay? So I had to really work out who had a round face, you know what I mean, because I didn't really know. It's very hard to tell a round face, but okay. Drew Barrymore has a round face, okay? Now, this was my favourite colour on her. All the other colours I saw on her were very, very yellow, or she was very, very blonde, and the curls were very, very fuzzy. But I really loved this hair colour on her with this slightly darker shallow root. Now, she is well made up and her makeup's nice, but she has a round face, and I thought that this was a particularly nice colour. And I think round faces are quite conducive to full heads of highlights, or to a lot of highlights, really from the eyebrow down, that there isn't like that the face shape, it isn't just conducive to there. I do feel that they need a lot of colour right around here. She doesn't have it here, you know, it's just right around here. So you can see I feel she needs more colour there, just because they're the areas that open up that will open up that area of her face. So I feel there's not enough colour there. So everybody seems to concentrate up here because they think that's what the client sees. But these are the areas that open up the face, you know. You know. Yeah, I couldn't, I looked it up and they were like round face her. I mean, I'm like, you know, I think she's a very strong jawline. But this was another colour I loved on her as well. I love these tones on her. You know, everything else I saw on her, she was very, very yellow blonde. Yes, Alice in the background with the bats. That's for you. It's always the way there, Ollie. Always the way. I loved this hair colour on her, and I loved the fact that it was a bit like what Tracy likes. I like the darkness around her face. I think it shows off her face shape. You know what I mean? Really, really well. You can see it really elongates her face shape, where if you had lots of highlights in there, you'd lose her face. So I think the darkness around the face really, 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 really makes it. There now, her makeup is really, really lovely as well. And this is what she's usually like. This is her usual sort of colour. This is where she's usually at. So it's really, really what really seems to suit her hair, because she has quite strong, coarse, curly hair, is that the highlights need to be quite chunky. So they need to be like a zigzag, or they need to be like a chunky weave, or very strong slices, so that you can see them going all the way down the hair so they don't get lost. And I personally think they need to be up to the scalp, you know, that type of stuff. You know, so like, she has a classic round face when you see it there, actually. I'd say if we met her in the flesh, Tracy, we probably like, she's really round face, you know what I mean? But yeah, hiya Robert, how's it going? Britain's hairdresser of the year, Robert Eaton, is on. Congratulations. Yeah, Trace, you're right, when she smiles. You're right, you can see it there, she really is. Congratulations, Robert, we were all so proud of you. I dropped it at about 11:10 that night that you'd won. And we then put up a few posts, so we were really delighted for you. And I saw a little bit of your collection, which is absolutely hiya Rob, it's absolutely stunning collection. So the minute you have the pictures, you can put it up for the Wella family here, and pass on my regards to Isabel and your mum and your dad, to all your family. You know, the clients always go to the roots, but you can, I definitely think with a round face, the slightly darker the darker look is better around her face. You know, that type of stuff. Fetching it home for the north. The winter is coming. Now, this was another one, and this was one that was quite interesting, Tracy. I think you might like that. And this was an undergoing theme among the pictures I was looking at today, that if their hair's too long, like this, you know, at a certain age, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? When you're young and you're 21 and you've got hair down your back and you have pictures on Instagram, it's amazing. But if you're in your late 30s, I think you need something sharp, and you need something bold, and you need something textured. And we do need to be cutting people's hair. I know it's like, it's very difficult, because I've got like unicorns and, you know, swans in my shop with hair down to here, like the same, and they're spending like 300-400 quid in a head of highlights. You know, this week, yeah, they've got to do it first. I got a sneak peek from your photographer, Robert, and I loved the eclecticness of your collection. You got that skinhead with her profile to the side. Man, she's got some face, Rob. She's got some face. But I really liked this on her, you know? I really liked this on her. Now, the colour is a bit yellow, I'll say that, but she is quite dark, so they would have had to break the base. But I really liked the textured bob of it. I thought it if she was going to go for highlights all over, I felt, you know, the textured shape would show off her cheekbone. Now, if it was that kind of colour, yeah, you haven't had hair down your back since you were 21, Salas, but I'd say you probably did then, you know, But I really liked this shape in her. I wasn't mad in the colour. I would have liked a bit more of a root shadow. But I really liked the shape on her. I thought it really highlighted her face, you know, I really love. But again, she doesn't look like she's done around her face there, but that's what makeup and contouring is all about, you know what I mean? So she's got a classic round face, and Kirsten Durst has a classic round face. So you can kind of see Kirsten. So she has a classic round face, and she's got a classic head of highlights. I loved it. There's a lot of lobs come up for me today, and I think it's a good thing. I think we do need to be, a few haircuts. We need to be lobbing them off in the salon, you know, to get people, you know, think about their face shapes. And hiya Sarah, how's it going? Think about their face shapes and think about the colour. I really love this colour though. It's like, if you could, for me, it's like a zigzag highlight, which I'm going to show you a little zigzag shapes highlight. And then the background colour for me here would be 936 and 80 on the colour touch in between the packets. Hiya Stuart, what time is it in Australia, man? Is it the middle of the night? I don't know if you've ever been on live. You must be just coming in or something, are you? Great to see you, Stu. Hope you're well. Angela, how's it going? So you can see her, that's a classic 936, and a 936 is actually one of Stuart Bain's favourite colour. Hi Angela, you're putting up the Christmas tree. We put up ours there. Well, I won't say we, it's my wife. I won't lie to you, my wife put it up. Hiya Charlie, how's it going? Hiya Shay, how's it going? More coming on. So this is a classic colour. You can, you know what, a sweeping fringe really helps. It definitely gives them some type of feature. But when you see that type of face shape, I do think it's conducive to an all over head of highlights. Is it in the morning, Jason, or is it the night time? God, I follow you're a great poster and you're a great commenter, Jason. It's great to have you as part of the community. You're a real good member. So thank you for coming on, and go back to sleep if I woke you. I apologise. Tia, how's it going? Angela, okay, babes. So yeah, this is like 936 and 80, and then you just do some highlights, and then you could emulsify it at the base. And so you're good, great, good. Then she's got really blue eyes, and she went really quite dark. Oh, afternoon, okay, that's okay. Afternoon, she went into a redhead, and you can see that she really has a round face here. But I don't dislike it on her. I mean, for somebody with such blue eyes, I mean, it's, you know, it was definitely probably for a role, I would say. But, you know, it was interesting, and I took it out, and I thought you'd like to see it. It was an interesting colour. I do think it needs the highlights, but it does show off her face shape and how round she is. I love 936. It's one of my favourite colours. And if you put it on in between the packets, like with 80, while the highlights are taken, you just get this beautiful tone. And then as you rinse out your bleach, and just rinse out all your bleach at the end, and then rub out. Hiya Luce, you still at work? You know, but here she is again, super warm. She does like to wear warmer tones. She wears super warm tones here, and she's nearly up into 943s there. But again, it kind of works on her, and all over colours tend to seem to say, are you sick in hospital? I like the reddener. I like the reddener as well, Michelle. Are you okay? I'm here, stuck in hospital, but I'm here. Oh God, I hope you're okay, Michelle. Prayers and love. Heart goes out to you. You know, heart goes out to you. Okay. So Rennie Zellweger, who actually I met once, would you believe? Rennie Zellweger. You've taken a blonde to 643, amazing. We're looking forward to the pictures. There's Rennie. Again, very hard to get good pictures of Rennie, but she's a classic round face as well. As you can see, you start to understand and see what red faces are. All our love to you. You start to see how you can spot a red face. This baby is killing me, dehydrated morning from. Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough like that, Michelle, because you're just a host right now. You're not in control. You're just a host. You better get them to put you on the drip. You know, I feel like I need to be on a drip every Sunday before I come on here. You know, so. You can see here that's a classic head of set of baby light foils all the way through, and they might have base braked her a little bit there because you can see the warmth in it, you know. Then she went dark, but see, when she went dark, she completely lost her eyes. You can see look how small her eyes are. Like they are so. I mean, she's got tiny eyes anyway at the best of times, but the dark. Yeah, she see her here for the Academy Awards. She's brilliant as Judy. Vodka drip. You're so funny, Nick. You're so funny. It would have to be Grey Goose. I won't lie to you. I'm gonna have a drink after I come off here tonight. I'm gonna have a drink. So she went really dark there. She's actually really, really small. She was in Dublin doing a premiere of a film, and a friend of mine blow dried her, and I just happened to be around. And I met her. She's tiny, small, shy, but a really nice girl. And I actually think she was really attractive, but she's tiny. It's actually 4'11", very small. Now she's had a bit of work done and changed her face, you know. But her face is still aesthetically round. So it shows you even after when you have a bit of work done, you can't really change your face shape. Do you know what I mean? You can't really. You got you on fluids. Damn, that girl's gorgeous, isn't she? Yeah. So you know, you can't. You can still see she's baby lights all the way. I do think the slightly darker colour around the front of her face doesn't make that much of a difference for her. And it does show that round faces. Yeah, I like her better blonde. I think the brown was awful on her, you know. It opens her up. And round faces are most definitely, like you said last week, Marta, round faces are very difficult to colour, you know, especially if you're looking to do a balayage or if you're looking to do that type of thing. I don't even know if it's really going to work. So it's something that we have to look at, you know what I mean? Round faces are difficult for balayage. So now we have the oblong faces, which was last week's, which was everyone's favourites last week. So I tried to look for girls with long faces that were different from last week. And it was hard because, you know, Giselle and Sarah Jessica Parker. So I went for Liv Taylor. Liv Taylor has a long oblong face, big forehead. And as you can see, her blue eyes. Now, she always keeps her hair really quite cool. And if she does go warm, she tends to go warm below her cheekbone. You know? So you can see... Oh, sorry, guys. Where was I? If she does go warm, you can see the lights. You can literally see where it starts to get warm around her cheekbone. And then it's brought down. And most of those are probably pieces. I mean, there's probably not... Yeah, you know what, Michelle? She's kind of sorted herself out. She went through a few difficult years there, and now she's back at it. And I believe her performance... This is Rennie we're talking about, yeah. I believe her performance in Judy is outstanding, and she's a wonderful actress. She's a very shy girl because my mate, you know, just told me she was very shy. Well, I think it's no harm... It's no harm in being able to say that, you know, if your face is quite round, let's see if we can find somebody with a round face who has a really good balayage. And I mean, you won't be able to find one because I couldn't, you know. So, what's being there, unfortunately, can't give any trucks on it. As Andrew said, it's really hard to have control on it. Yes, exactly. So, you'll always notice with Liz, she never goes light. You know, she never knows. I think if you really have you say to a client, you have a really round face and she's looking for like Giselle's colour, and you try to go for it, she will get it. You know, clients really get it. You know what I mean? They will get it. Now, here, I love this of Liz. Again, she only has the warmth from below her cheekbone, and it's nice and cool, and it makes her eyes pop. See her blue eyes pop. So, personally, I would love on Liv Taylor, I would love 502 Illumina or 471 in the colour touch. I would love on that. You know, that type of stuff. You know, I just look, see how blue it makes her eyes. There's no way I'd be telling her to highlight her hair. I have a picture of her hair now with highlights. I think... Yeah, and I don't think I even put it up. No, I didn't. It was awful. She had one head of highlights and it was awful. I couldn't even do it. And then there was this one which wasn't too bad. Now it's a big photo shoot, you can see, and they've sort of made the highlights. They're a little bit. They remind you of a little bit of the 5/7 and Magma, you know, that type of thing. But you can see there again that they've just the highlights have just started at her eyebrow, nowhere below, and they're pulling the hair back off her face to expand it with. Yes, they're pushing it back there, you know, and they're keeping it dark around the sides because she has a long face. So they're very much like Sarah Jessica Parker or like Giselle. They tend to start around the eyebrow. They don't go above it because they don't want to make the focal point here. So they tend to be here. She's I was trying to find a picture of her with a decent one. I couldn't find one this morning. I don't know, but then I was out last night. Do you know what I mean? I'll get her up again though, Alison, because she's cute. I mean, she is really cute. So again, long faces. We had to go back. I had to go to the Sarah Jessica Parker again. You know, I love these big streaks. I love these big shapes because it doesn't always have to be just blended. It doesn't always have to be just perfect. Sometimes you can do stuff and it can be a little bit raw, and you can have the courage to put a shape in and to be proud of it. And a lot of clients are mad for it. You'll know Christine Jigham. She has like an amazing. She has an amazing jawline. I think she's half Thai, half Indian or something. She's a really unusual blood. She's a really unusual mix. Beautiful mix though, you know, absolutely beautiful mix. So there's Sarah Jessica with proper streaks. And then that's her with a warmer tone. Because I quite like it with a warmer tone. It makes her eyes pop. You know, it reminds me of Madonna. You know, Madonna always has a warmer blonde because it makes her eyes pop. And that's really nice in her skin. It's not at all aging. So again, it's something to look at for clients. She is a ride. Yeah, she is a ride. I'm glad you say she is. She's an absolute beaut. And that mix, I mean, she's just got a beautiful mix. She's beautiful. But it's her jaw, Alison. I mean, I don't know whether she's a round face or not, but she has the most beautiful jaw I've ever seen. She has a beautiful jaw. But you can see this is a beautiful, beautiful tone. I love it on her. I love it on her skin. I love the way it makes her eyes pop. And I mean, with those blue eyes, you'd be thinking about making her super ash. But you can see how gorgeous it is and how that will fade well and it'll grow well. You can watch it back, Nicola. It's okay. You can watch it back. We'll be doing lots of different stuff. You can watch it back. You can see how beautiful that is. And that if you put that in front of a client and say, well, this is the type of warmer colours that, you know, Sarah Jessica wears. And here she is with a classic face frame. You know, see, it's just very small. I don't like it on her personally. I just think it brings my eye right to here and it makes her look like she's losing her hair there. If you ask me, it makes it look as if it's a bit see-through, you know. It just looks see-through, but it's a small enough, well technically done face frame for it to work. You know, hiya Debs, how's it going? Hope you're feeling okay. You can see it's. I personally think it just makes her, it weakens her hair. I think it'd be much better if it started here. You know, if we put our hands over it there. Much better if it started here, personally. So you can see it with a face frame and it does tend... Is it blowing your head? Yeah, no, it's okay. This is the type of stuff we need to be doing, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like it either, Charlie, but that's the interesting thing, isn't it? You know, where does your eye go to? My eye goes right here, you know? So I would have softened that out with a melt. You know, I think if you're gonna, you could do a whole set of baby lights. You could do all the highlights up there. You know what I mean? And then you could just put a melt over it and take the line away. But you can't stop your eye going to there, and then it brings her forehead into play. So if you put your hand over that there, that's better, isn't it? Isn't that better? See, and if you talk to a client like that, and you put your hand over that and you go, you see, that's better, she'll get it. She will get it like that. She will get it like that. She may not like it because she wants to have highlights up to her root, but at the same time look like Sarah Jessica Parker. And the penny will drop that these things are not always possible. But, you know, clients are like that anyway, you know. We have, you know what they're like in the chair. They want pink, they want red, they want green until they see it. You know what I mean? Until they see it. You know, yeah, Michelle, I don't like it personally on that. You know. And then square faces, who I will put Christine Geegan in square faces now, Alison. I can't pronounce her last name, I'm dyslexic as hell. I would put her in as a square, but they're... So, and you'd put her in as red, so it'd be interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna do a thing on her next week anyway, because listen, she's but square faces, okay? Square faces are very interesting because it seems to me that a lot of people don't seem to want highlights above. But the girl who kind of started the slight balayage explosion, really, among models was Lily Aldrich. See Lily here? So Lily did an article in Vogue after she done her first Victoria. Hiya Lucian, how's it going? Great to have you on. She did an article in Vogue, and Tracy Cunningham does her colour. And Tracy's been doing her colour since she was about 16. And it's a foliage, like it's not a balayage, it's like a backcomb weave, and it's a foliage. But this is the classic picture that they reckon that more customers brought this picture in over the space of time after it was dropped than any other picture of that year. So this was up there with like a Jennifer Anderson or with a Giselle as one of the most used pictures. She's all around cheap, wants to die for. She's just a banger. Alison, you know, you can imagine how I feel here. I mean, yeah, she is absolutely stunning. But it is really interesting that the balayage doesn't start till here. Look, like it's nearly an ombre, but because it's not done chunky, because it's like a backcomb weave, see how they're so blended? See how they're so separated and so blended that they really, really work. And now she's absolutely gorgeous. But there's probably very few people who are visually as strong as Tracy Cunningham, because if you ever see a class with Tracy, they'll always say, well, Tracy does the same approach with every client. And she does the same approach, but visually, she's one of the strongest I've ever seen, because she'll find a little bit and she'll work it and she'll make it brighter, and she'll leave it out, and then she'll put another bit in, and she'll put a bit of Vaseline on one bit that's really light, and it'll just all diffuse together and look incredible. So she's got an invisible art. She's the imagey of Debs, but she's not as... I don't think she's as hot as you, Debs, really. I don't think she's as hot as you, really. Hurrell Debs had a cracking client in there the other day, guys. She won't mind me saying. Client begged her to do her pink. Saturday afternoon, not a chair in the seat. Nobody, not a chair in the seat. Place is jammers. There's people lying on the floor. It's so mental. I want to go pink. 20-minute consultation. She does a beaut on it. Oh no, I don't like it. It's too pink. On a Saturday, 1 o'clock. But El Debs, being the expert that she is, clarifying shampoo, brought it up. It looked amazing. It looked amazing anyway. But that's customers for you, isn't it? That's customers for you. I don't know how. So she just dropped it out to a baby pink in the middle of the Matta salon. We didn't even have the seats or the basins, and that's old school. You know what I mean? That's been able to roll with the punches. But I was just, it's so clients, isn't it? Please do me pink. And then 5 minutes later, I can't believe I'm pink. And then 5 minutes later, actually I wanted a baby pink. Actually, I didn't want a pink at all. And then she came back 20 minutes later to tell everyone how much she loved her hair. It's in our business, it's difficult, isn't it? But as I said to Debs, you're better off not changing anybody's colour in December, because you do have a lot of people making emotional decisions. It's Christmas, and it was a great save. And she didn't even put the bleach in. She just used the clarifying shampoo. She knows what she's doing. So that picture is the most used Lily picture, and then this is the one that they use for Victoria's Secret. Right, for Victoria's Secret. Now, they're probably pieces, but you can still see again that based on that face shape, they've put them below. There's nothing even going on above. I would say they're all pieces. I'm not particularly mad about it. I much prefer a darker, but you can see how important technique is, because they're in the same place, but because they're not done by Tracy Cunningham, they're mental. You know what I mean? Listen, the place was flying. So thank God they're not taken from her eye colour, because her eye colour is what makes her so strong, on her mouth and her lips, and that she's pretty beautiful. But you can see that if you overdo something technically, it doesn't matter what colour it is, it doesn't matter what tone you use. That looks like me in the morning, Nick. Hey, it's all right, Mike. Great to see you. I hope you're keeping well. I'd love if you're in Dublin, Mike, for you to come up and see me. I'd love to meet you, Barrow. I'd love to meet you. I'd say we'd have a great bit of crack. But you can see that there's no texture, there's no movement. So how important it is to choose the right technique. So for her, with me, it would be a backcomb weave. It wouldn't be a backcomb balayage, because it would be too heavy, because her hair's too fine. Now, even though they're pieces, you can tell they're pieces. Nobody's hair. Look how fine her hair is here, and look at how thick it is here. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone's hair who grows thicker. Do you? Do you know anyone's hair who, 3 years later, it's thicker than it was when it grew up there? Yeah, it's pieces, okay? It's a couple of hamsters on both sides there, Hiya, Gary, how's it going? Just back from New York. I hope New York survived. But you can see the way they've brought it down. It's not affecting her face, because it's quite a square face shape. But I do much prefer. Now, she did go blonde, okay? And she did go blonde. She went blonde, and you can see what happens there. Look, so she went blonde and she lost. You can really see the angler now of the hamsters. Yes, exactly. That's what they are. Hamsters on both sides. They're a couple of ferrets, Deborah. A couple of ferrets. So you can see she went blonde. And I mean, no matter the fact that she still is a beautiful girl, she looks nothing like herself. It does nothing for her at all. You know, she's way too dark. I don't even know how they did it. But again, it's good to show. It's good to... Marta, that was a good one. That was a good one. That's the quote of the moment. Yeah, she looks ill. She does, like, it just shows you, you know, so you can show... I call them rats, do you? Yeah, well, yeah, I call them ferrets myself. Call them ferrets. Well, you know, you take a look at that, and then you take a look at that. You're like, is that the same girl? You know, like, but that was the picture. You know how many people brought that in. But to create that type of technique, I mean, unless you're an incredible painter, you're never going to get that diffuse look. For me, that's you got to backcomb them, and then you got to weave them. You understand what I'm saying? You know, that if you just... So the technique is so important, and that's what we're going to talk about, different types of highlighting tonight. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. There we go again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's... And there's herself. And even there, I mean, it's too wide for such a small face, you know? Like, that's too wide. If you took a bit of that away... Look, she looks better, look. Her face looks better. Look. I tell you, I could get a job, couldn't I? Just putting my hands over people's hair. Couldn't I? I should be making millions doing this. No, that won't work. That won't work. Oh, there you go. That's it. But it does show you that you can go quite light. Her eyes stand out, but she doesn't look well. No, she doesn't look well. But she's a beautiful girl, and that's a backcomb weave. I don't know if you, like, as I say... A lot of things in hair colouring are visual, and sometimes less is more. It's hard to believe, Isadora, isn't it? It's a good one there tonight, isn't it? Okay, it's hard to believe. Okay, who else then? See, I tried to go for people with different hair colours, not just blondes, because we all end up just being blondes. Oh, here's another one of Lily, where she had a slightly redder tone. And it does have a huge effect on her skin. Okay, it looks kind of like a magma. It does have a completely different... She kind of looks different there. And again, it looks like it's pieces to me because the hair is so wide. But again, the higher they go up, the less they work. Do you agree with me? Like, you know, the higher on that face that they go up, the less it works. That if you go back to this one, you know, where it's right below her face... I mean, it just works. That picture went around the world a million times. Now, I do love this. You know, I love the blow dry of it. I love the finish of it. And I love her. But I just think the highlights are a little bit too high. Particularly this one up here. It's really annoying me. See this one here? I can't stop looking at it. You know, where I want to be looking at those eyes there. You know, I want her to be looking at me and going, I'm me going to her, Lily, I'm married, all right? Lily, stop. I'm married, okay? Lily, I'm sorry. I'm married. Lily, I'm married, okay? These are the things that I do and work that crack up Deborah, actually, if she's still on. You know, so there you go. So you can see what I mean. That's personally, I just see where you can put something and it can take away from their hair. It can take away from their... You see, Marty, you're kind of getting the idea, you know, and if you sit down and talk, so if I put my finger over that, isn't it miles better? There, you can see the black of her, you can see those beautiful dark eyes. Miles better, you know? Miles better. Take it out, look. So, technique and where you put it, so important. And just, Alison, do not react to me just saying like that. I know what you're like. The hair is awesome. She is gorgeous. You're married and others are not. I'm single. I'm in. Alison, I don't blame you. Listen, she's beyond beautiful. So another girl with a square face who gets a bit of a hard time, but I think she's actually brilliant, is Sandra Bullock. Okay? Now, Sandra's got really dark eyes as well here. Now, again, I picked... I'm so out of it. Who the feck is Lily? Oh, Lily Aldridge. She's a Victoria's Secret model, Tracy. She's mad about me. But I told her I'm married. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't get it, you know. She's a marriage wrecker, you know. She doesn't get it. So, you know. Yo, the eyebrows. Oh, listen, he'll be on later. I'm in love. You know that, Michael. I'm in love. So you can see that they've gone and put the highlights up really high here, and how it just doesn't. I love the development, Alison. Keep it up. It just doesn't. Look at it, takes right from her. Look, it's that whole, well, we have to put some highlights up here. The honey pot. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love it. You know it, Liz. You know it. I still got it, Liz. I still got it. I never had it, but I still got it. So you can see the highlights up here. Oh, that's my wife. Has taken the look here away. So if we put our fingers over that, it's miles better, isn't it? So the same face shape, it's miles better. Look, put it away, put that there. Look, beautiful. She's actually got a lovely face, She's a really beautiful girl, and I just don't think she believes she's, but she's a really, really attractive girl. She's amazing eyes. But see what can happen if you put highlights on that type of square face shape. You can see why Lily Aldridge's hair works so well, because it's done. It's a square face, babes. I have magic fingers, haven't I? I'm like a magician. I love Sandra too. I think she's well, listen, she's a smart lady. She's made absolutely millions and produced some top films. But you can see by putting the highlight on this type of face shape up there in the wrong place, yeah, I could have to put my hand over, because it's absolutely ruining it. Okay, it's ruining it. Okay, so we'll have a few more of her. She went much darker here. You can see again, it's like the Lily Aldridge. See, she's much darker all over. Again, there's a little bit of David Bain. Yeah, I like that. But again, I think she's beautiful dark, isn't she? Look at her eyes, look at her skin. This thing's ruining it for me. I mean, look, we'll just put a highlight in the front. You've done it a million times. We'll just put something in the front to just take from your skin. Take from your eyes. Sometimes just do a beautiful rinse and send her on our way. You know what I mean? Paul Daniels. Yeah, do you remember Paul Daniels? Oh. There's a lot of people on here who wouldn't remember Paul Daniels, Alison, but I do. Oh, I remember Paul Daniels big time. But isn't it miles better on her? That sometimes we have a tendency to think, you have to highlight everybody's hair, but you don't. You know what I mean? Tracy did a nice post there during the week about a brunette and, just nailing it. I love cool brunettes and dark-eyed girls like that, who's me Debbie McGee? There could be so much trouble with this type of stuff, but you can see how amazing, how well she looks, how well her skin looks, how well her eyes look once she keeps her hair dark. Isn't it just beautiful that sometimes we just, I do like to do, there's a lot of people that come into the salon looking for highlights, and I tell them that they're better to go dark. You do, Alison, to go darker. Now again, remember, she's the same as Lily Aldridge, but these are the highlights that, again, how crucial technique is, because all this is lovely. They're a little bit too chunky for me, but this has destroyed the look. You know what I mean? Again, it's this insecurity that you feel you have to give a face frame, and because of her square face, it just doesn't work. So she needs that again. Our magic fingers will arrive again here now. I'll go high this time. See, miles better. Look, isn't that lovely now? That's gorgeous. You know what I mean? That's just gorgeous. And if you show that to a client, they'll totally get it. Look, you take it away, it just ruins the minute I saw it, I was like, oh, it's killing me. I love her lipstick, I love her makeup, I love that. I really like pearl skin, like that white skin. It can be really beautiful. But it's just like, I mean, so we are visual artists, and we need to be not afraid to be able to look at pictures like this and try and work out why they work and why they don't. It's like higher, if the prices are higher, lower. Wasn't that Bruce used to do that, didn't he? Bruce Forsyth, wasn't it? It just looks wrong, doesn't it? But we are all visual artists on here. This is a community of visual artists. So if you start to explain, and if you do exactly what I've done in front of a client and go like that, the client will go, oh yeah, I get that. And she'll stop asking you for stupid stuff, and that you'll have a much easier life. Who else now is in that? Oh, Jennifer Anderson has a square face, as well. So I got a few more pictures of her. Oh, I have a few more pictures of because I have a few more pictures of Sandra Bullock, because she's had a few hair disasters actually. The fringe, What do you think of the fringe on her? For me, it just suffocates her face completely. Play your cards right. That was it. Susie Lynn. I love it. I love it. Play your cards right. Play your cards right. I love it. Just colours which over those ends. Marta, woman after my own heart. I think the fringe suffocates her. Her face is too small. Even if it was you know, if it was parted in the centre and swept out. Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you, Anne-Marie? How are you doing? Yes, Marta, I agree. I think it was awful on her. But the colour, at least the colour was in the right place. Look, you know, it was brought down and it was done well, but it just doesn't work. Back to dark. Look, incredible on her. Look, so beautiful. So beautiful. No need to do anything other. Nice 502 in alumina would be just... and nice and cool, you know, nice and cool. It just plays off her skin. Absolutely beautiful. Very attractive. Here she's gone for the lights. Again, she's gone for the highlights up here. And because her hair is so dark, they're always going to be warm. I'm not mad about them. But, you know, she probably wanted something to highlight her face. But you can see why she always ends up going back dark, you know. Now what they did here, and I've done this myself, is I've coloured somebody for the colour of their eyes and I haven't taken their skin into consideration. I've done this. Fingers make her look like Sandy from the factory. Actually, you're right, you know, you're right. Yeah, like sometimes big class papa, okay, good. But I've done this and I've made this mistake. 502 in alumina, Jace. Have you not seen it? You know, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's not a big one. It's not a big colour, Alison. Not everyone's using it. But if you want that sort of rock star, you know, brown, you know, no red, no, you know, like the Rolling Stones guys would wear, you know, like, you know, that real, you know, no red, brown, 502 alumina. Forget about it. So here, they've done our colour, and I've done this a million times. They've done our colour, the same colour as her eyes, okay? And they've said to themselves, right, this is the colour of her eyes, okay? This is the colour of her eyes, and we'll do it the colour of her. And they forgot about her skin, you know? So everything is so important. But they obviously wanted to make her look lighter and tried to make her look... I mean, she looks a little bit like Sophia Loren here, you know, that kind of Sophia Loren vibe off it with the hair. And but it just doesn't work on her skin. Now, they have literally photocopied the colour on her eyes. They probably pre-lightened it first. And we'll push it up a bit. See it? So they've really worked to make it the same colour as her eyes. And I do believe that's very important to use the eyes. Oh, I'm chronically dyslexic, Nicola. I'm scalectric. So don't worry about it. You're in good company here. Don't let anything stop you in life. So you can see it just, for me, doesn't work on her. It doesn't work on her at all. And it is making her eyes pop, but not in a good way. You know what I mean? Her eyes are not popping in a good way. They just look as if they're clashing with her hair colour. You know? So, I mean, you can see why. Again, now they've gone for the full highlights here. Look, the full highlights all the way through. And she looks as if she's aged overnight by about 15 years. So you'd have loads of clients like her with dark eyes coming into you saying, I'd like to be blonde, you know? I'd like to be blonde, okay? And all you need to do then is go, okay, well, you're very similar colour to Sandra Bullock, who's a beautiful looking girl. So let's have a look at a few pictures of Sandra Bullock. Instead of looking at the picture she's picked up on Instagram of somebody with black roots and blue ends, and she's going, I want to be silver, you know, just steer them away from that and get them back into reality and go, let's have a look at Sandra's hair. So Sandra's gone lighter here, okay? So this is what you can kind of expect, because Sandra Bullock's one of the wealthiest women in the world. And if that's what she's going to get, then that's what you're going to get, okay? So can you live with that? Because, I mean, that puts 15, 20 years on her, you know? Hiya, Richard. How's it going? Hope you're still doing the do. I love watching your work. Beautiful hands. Richard Thompson, absolutely beautiful hands. So, I mean, when they see that, there's a very good chance that they'll stay with you forever, because you've given them the advice that is what they're paying for. People are paying for advice, and that's what we're here for all tonight. It's all about learning and advice. So another girl with the square with a square is the famous Jennifer, who we did last week, and I took a few more pictures out. I still think her hairdresser's a genius, you know. So I found this one again this morning, one of her classic face frames. And again, she keeps everything dark on the top. It's just stunning. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock, Alison. It's very late for you. You're in your gym jams. Here she is when she's gone blonder like we done last week. It's awful on her. You can see how pink her skin looks. You can see you can't tell the colour of her eyes. You can't even see her face shape. You know, she keep it real, Alison. Thanks for coming on. You just lose her completely. She stops being that girl, you know. So you can see how blue her eyes look there, you know. Look, and how nice her skin is, and then boom, she just looks like everybody else. So if you show that to clients as well, this is one of my favourites actually. I just love Jennifer Aniston's hair. I love. Good night, Charlie. I love this tone, and there's a lot of tones coming on. I love this tone. So for me, this is a beautiful tone. So if you did a lovely set of lights first, I think this is gorgeous. It's shining a bit there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And it's quite warm, but I just love it on her, you know? I love it on her. So if you could imagine you did lots and lots of highlights, and then you melted it out with like the 7 trees would be lovely on it here. The 7 trees, the caramels, you know, like all the 9/7 trees and the 7/7 trees and the 7/7s into 9/7 trees. As your melt afterwards, you would get this type of tone. And it's so good on her skin, isn't it? It's so good. It's so good on her skin. It's just beautiful on her. Yeah, it's just beautiful on her. So you can see how the warmth just really, really works for her. So that would be into 9/7 It could be a 9/9/7, which would be a little bit more pearly, you know. But that to me is absolutely stunning on her, and it's one that we picked up from the last time. So now we're on to heart-shaped. God, there's a lot in this, isn't there? Heart-shaped faces. Okay, so this is, again, from going with advice and stuff like this, Kate Moss has a heart-shaped face. And again, Kate has always had that tendency, because she's got such brown eyes, to go very blonde, but she tends to make it work with makeup and stuff like that, you know. So I'll show you my favourite Kate Moss hair colour. Hi Majel, how are you? This is my favourite Kate Moss colour, and it's more to do with the technique. So they've kept the top darker, and then very, very gentle and much brighter lights, and kept it really flat, and then it just shadowed around her face. And they've sort of used her, I think it's like her own base colour, because she is quite dark, and then all the hair is just around her, and it's all about her cheekbones. For me, that's my favourite Kate Moss colour of all time. On her, it's the one I like the best, you know. This is what she usually wears on average, so it's a lot of highlights and a lot, and it's back combed out. And this is kind of her average look, you know, her average kind of colour. But you can see she has a hair face, and it is, again, her faces seem to be conducive to full head highlights with like base breaks or backgrounds. That seems to be. She went brown at one stage. It didn't suit her at all, I don't think, really. Is she Greek? Yeah, I think she is. She's got lovely skin. So you can see her brown. I wasn't mad about it. You know, wasn't mad about it. And she went red for the Versace show, I believe it was. I think it was this Versace show, if you remember that. And that was quite cool, wasn't it? You know, it was just for the gig, but it was quite cool on her. I really liked that, and I saw that, and I said I'll put that up. And then this is her classic, where she wears it really bright. A lot of people like her hair this light. You can see her, these are her real colours. She wears contacts a lot. So sometimes you'll see her and she has blue eyes, and sometimes you'll see she has brown eyes. She's very smart like that. If she changes her hair colour, she wears contacts. But she does tend to have a lot of highlights put in and kept very bright, and she works it on her skin. But you can see, I think there her real eye colour is that one. But again, she wears contacts, and a lot of them do. A lot of celebrities have 5 or 6 that have a brown, a hazel, a blue. You know, they'll have different contacts and they'll make it work. But again, I think it was about 2012, she toned down her hair for a little while, and nobody liked it, and I absolutely loved it. Now, I can understand as a model why it didn't work, but I know that you guys on here who understand skin and eyes and hair will love this. I know the minute I saw it this morning, I know everybody on this thread tonight are big into their hair, or else they wouldn't be on this thread, and they're big into hair colour. So I knew when I saw this she'd just love it. This was about 2012, and they toned down her she was after doing she was after wrecking her hair, so they toned it down. So they toned it down. You could see it looks like the 9/7s, you know, the 9/7s kind of stuff. But so they toned down her hair, and she's probably got contacts in there for that one, I would say. You know, I'd say she has contacts on it. I mean, she wears them a lot. But you can see it on her skin and on her hair, and it's just softened down, and it's quite ashy, but yet it's warm at the same time. It's like a 9/7, isn't it? And for me, this is my second favourite colour of all time. Nobody liked it. They said it was just like dirty dishwater, and she got a bit of a slating for it at the time. You know, the fashionistas didn't like it, but I know you guys on here who are all coloristas, you know, you will totally get it. Isn't it stunning on her? It just takes the pink out of her skin, and yet at the same time it's really warm, and it's just gorgeous. Yeah, I think that was 2012 actually, Charlie. I don't think it was that long ago. Okay, another girl with a heart-shaped face is Scarlett Johansson. Okay, again, she's had so many different hairdos. We'll start with the one, it really does suit her skin, Ashley, and you're right. We'll start with the mad blonde one, but she was mad blonde for a while. She went really mad blonde all the way through, and you can see it just washes her out. And then again, I mean, they were obviously, I think these are pieces, I don't know what, you know, it's gorgeous on her. But so this is Scarlett Johansson when she went really blonde. She has some really good, she used to have it in her contract that only Orbe was allowed to do her for shoots. So whenever she did a shoot, her hair was always amazing, because Orbe always did it, and Orbe was just a master. So awful on her hair, as you can see. Even the warmer tones are nearly, well, I don't know, nothing seems to work about that, nothing. I just don't like it at all. And that's the type of thing clients want, you know what I mean? And they have that type of skin, and they have that type of look, and they then think they're going to go silver. So you can take pictures like that out. Here she went for a much shorter cut, and you can see there's a base break after going in there, and then with the highlights throughout it, and I think she looks really, 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 really good. She looks a bit like Charlize Theron there, but I love her makeup as well, and I love her hair there. I just think her hair is gorgeous on her, and it just looks really, really amazing on her. And she's a heart-shaped face as well, so she wears her hair short quite a lot. So here she toned down her hair. Again, we're back in the 7/3s or the 9/7s, and you can see she's wearing a tan to sell off the hair. So she's going for a bit of a Blake Lively kind of feel there. She's going for a bit of a Blake kind of vibe, and it's kind of doesn't make her look like herself, but it's a beautiful hair colour, and it's really suited on her skin. I don't know if it works on her, but I love the fact that it's parted so far back. So it's parted back here. And all the hair then from the back it's all parted from here and brought forwards. So there's all this weight of hair coming forward. And with a lot of photo shoots, if you've ever seen them, that if they're folded in they'll always say if it's going to be folded in 2 dimensions, which is front on 2-dimensional, not 3-dimensional, they will push all the hair from the back and literally part it in the centre and push it all forward. So it looks like they've loads of hair around here and here. So it's fascinating if you've ever been on a big shoot that's what they do. So you can see if you look at the back of their heads, they actually have no hair there. Everything's been pushed forward. So it all looks like huge and wide, like Cindy Crawford. And it all looks like his son's stuns of hair. Hiya, Daniel. How's it going? So here she is with a short haircut again. And for me, it's a little bit too severe. It's a little bit too heavily cut. Her makeup is terrific, but the blonde on the ends is beautiful. And it does kind of suit her short. She does have a tendency to take it quite short. So it shows some people with heart-shaped faces can wear short hair, which is quite interesting, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty fascinating, isn't it? It's very basic colour. I think it's a bit too short for me. And this is my favourite look on her. So I think this is the haircut for a heart-shaped person. And again, it's the choppy lob. I think this is a stunning haircut on her. This is where she looks at her best. Her hair colour is just it's the right side of warm, you know. It's the right side of warm. It's a lovely length. It just brings out her cheekbones and stuff like that. And the highlight shapes are gorgeous. The first shorter cut was nicer. You're right, Scott. But the lob here, the long bob, with the right level of texture all the way through it, and you can see the way it's been styled right at her cheekbone. So they've elongated it here right, so it's right at her cheekbone, and it's so youthful, and it just makes her look so beautiful. That for somebody with a heart shaped look, definitely dark roots, heavy balayage isn't really going to work that well. But that a choppy bob and a really nice colour with a nice base break or a nice background colour is just stunning. And as you can see again, there's no ash here. Nobody in the real world has those hair colours, you know. So if you bring your clients back to that. And then another girl with a heart-shaped face is Reese Witherspoon, okay? So Reese has always kept it quite long and quite commercial. So I had to work hard to find ones. But here's one. Sometimes Reese's colour can be awful, but here's where she's gone super, super blonde. And it does actually kind of suit her. It does actually kind of suit her face and suit her look. I don't know how much of that is real hair down here. I'm not quite sure, because again, it's quite fine up here and it's quite thick down there. So that says to me that that's probably not real hair, you know, because you can see the fineness of this across. But maybe it's just the way it's sitting on her shoulder. I'm not quite sure, you know. But you can see it does quite suit her to be quite light. And again, there's no balayage on it. Here she is with a fringe again and a heart-shaped look. I'm not really mad about a fringe on her, really. But I do like that particular colour. It has that kind of 916 feel at the back, you know, at the background. And then lots and lots of baby lights, lots and lots of highlights in between. So it's a really classic head of highlights. So you can have clients coming in and they're looking for, you know, people are afraid that the classics are like, oh, everybody just wants balayage. Very strong chin. Very, very strong chin. And that's where the fringe is ruining the look, Marta. You nailed that one. You see, she'd be much better with a sort of something down there to offset it, you know. Okay, and here's a beautiful colour on her, which I found, which is again, it's just a beautiful colour, but I don't. It's just it's definitely not her natural base colour. So I don't know if they bleached it first and then melted it down, because it's such a beautiful colour here. That's just not her colour. You know, nobody has, you know, if somebody has a really, really beautiful base colour, it's most likely not their own. Very few people are born with perfect base colours. And if they are, don't mess with them. Okay? Do nice, beautiful techniques so that you don't have to mess with them, you know? But I love this on her. I love the blueness of her skin. Now, I do love her makeup as well. But I love the fact that it's a beautiful head of highlights. That there isn't, you know, it's not up, it's not down. It's just nice and even. It's a nice, beautiful head of highlights, you know. Now we're into oval faces, okay? So oval faces. The first one, the oval faces, is Jessica Alba. Again, I tried to find somebody who isn't just blonde. You like that type of colouring? Yeah, I do too. I like. Would you leave it darker to hairline, Marta? Probably not. You know, probably not. I mean, looking at that face, looking at those heart shapes, it looks to me like proper heads of highlights, but nice surrounds and background colours are the things that work the best there, you know, on them. Most certainly, there's not that much balayage working on them. Again, you have the odd one with a good chin who can sell it, but it looks to me, you know, as you say, do your own research. This is just my opinion. I just went through this morning and I had a look at the face shapes and what I thought worked better. And I mean, it's all about the skin, it's all about the eyes and the face shapes. It's not just, the picture of the fringe is perfect. See her face from frontal view. Okay, so this girl's stunning as well. She's beautiful, and you can see they've kept the natural, and then just started to, again, they're really lighting up her face, and everyone thinks by lighting up somebody's face that they're doing highlights up here, which is not true at all. If you're lighting up somebody's face, you know, you have to look at the focal points of the faces, at the eyebrow, the eyes, the cheekbone, the lips, the chin, into the chest, around the neck. So you can see that this is the area that they want to be the focal point of the colour, okay? So it's all from cheekbone down. So they're opening up her face from below her cheekbone. And it's flawlessly done. It's beautifully coloured. I don't think there was even a bit of bleach used there. It was just nicely lifted and nicely highlighted and toned, and a nice I'd say just a nice gloss put on after it. Very, very, very beautiful, very elegant, very well done, and beautiful shiny hair. And that's the way customers should be looking to have their hair a lot of the time, if they're this hair colour, instead of bringing in a picture of somebody with black roots and blue ends and saying, oh, I'd like it silver, please. You know, because again, there has to be a call to action, or we'll have nobody in our salons if we keep bringing them to these like Instagram circuses that seems to be going on. She lightened it up a little bit here. She's gone for more highlights all the way through, and she's kept it straight. I do kind of like it on her because again, there's no lines. They've kept it all dark around her hairline, and they've just brought some lighter highlights into play. I don't like it as much as the other one. Yeah, I couldn't you highlight Reese's like that? I don't know, Martha, because I'd love to see Reese's base colour. You know what I mean? Reese, I've never seen. I went through her today, and I've never seen her without highlights all the way up. I mean, I think Reese's eyes are so blue and her skin is so fair. I don't know if she could carry something like this. I don't think she has the skin for it, Martha. But I've seen Reese as a redhead, and it was quite nice as well. I don't think she has the skin tone for this kind of colour, but I know what you're saying. Now, here's one where they have highlighted her. They've done her hair and they've highlighted her up much higher. And for me, it just takes from her. I can't see the darkness of her eyes. Her skin doesn't look as tanned, or it doesn't look as white. It looks in the middle. It's very dusty, so they've gone for an ash tone, which tends to be sucking the colour out of her hair, and it's got that real dusty look, which doesn't seem to work on her skin or on her eyes. I mean, she's still gorgeous, she's still beautiful, and it's still beautifully done. It's just they've obviously tried to go as light as they possibly can to make it work on her, and it doesn't work on her, if you ask me personally. You know, we'll go back. What we'll do is we'll go back. There we go. Okay, boom. And then we'll go boom. No. So I think that's... Then she went quite warm. This is an interesting one. She went quite warm here, but again, and the highlights are below her cheekbone and stuff like that. So I'll let you make up your own decisions about that. I mean, I don't know if they're just pieces. I get the feeling they're just pieces put in, you know, lighter pieces put in for the evening to try and make it cool. Hiya, Matthew, how you doing? But again, a higher colour or anything bright just seems to take from her face, if you ask me. You know, if you go back, you know, like this is who she is. And when you start to get in and you over highlight it, now if those highlights were smaller like Lily Aldridge's and they were a little bit more blended and stuff like that, it may work. Am I doing okay with it, Jess Ellis? Okay, good. We get into it, there's so much going on. So here she's gone back to her darker with just the highlights below. And to me, I think that's what makes her face look really beautiful. So if I had a client in the chair like her who was looking to go blonde and she had really dark eyes and nice skin, you know, sometimes you have these lovely Filipino girls who come in and they're looking to go really light. And I say to them, you know, we could break your base and we could do a little bit of this, but, you know, let's have a look at sort of Jessica Alba or somebody like that has a very similar skin, and we take it out. And by the end of them looking at pictures like Jennifer Anderson or looking at pictures of this girl, they kind of go and they get more confidence in their hair. And if you can make them, I mean, you can base break somebody who's a black and make them look like they're make them look like they're a little bit lighter. My favourite base break on dark hair, Filipino hair, or on, I think she's Mexican, or I'm not quite sure, but that type of hair is 717. 717 is a particularly nice base break on darker hair like that. It just takes the black look off at 717 in Colliston. I mean, a lot of people use 781 in Illumina, which is quite nice as well, but 717 or 718 is quite nice. They'll both come up warm, obviously, because you're base breaking. But they'll make a black haired girl look like she's this hair colour. You know, it'll just give you enough of a shift. Yeah, 717 or 718 in Colliston is what I use, you know, on very dark hair to just create a brown that looks like that. So I mean, they could be making her look like, but I think that's her natural, you know. I think that's her natural. So she has an oval face, okay. So someone else who has an oval face is Cameron Diaz. Okay, and again, very hard to find really nice colours for Cameron because a lot of the time she was just bleach blonde. So I went looking for some ones today, and I thought this was gorgeous. You know, I thought this was gorgeous. So she has an oval face shape. So the lower down and the brighter it is around here, the better, and the more you're bringing out these cheekbones. But I really liked this colour on Cameron because, I mean, she's about a base 6 naturally. So they've toned this. They've done something with it. It was probably just a gloss or something afterwards, and the highlight colour is just, I think it's really lovely on her. It's really lovely on her skin. I think it's absolutely stunning. And again, you can see that the brightest sections are obviously aimed towards her mouth, because her mouth is her biggest feature. It's what they're most known for. Her focal point is her mouth. But I actually think it's her. I think her cheekbones and her skin. I think her cheekbones and her skin and her eyes are really strong, but she's most famous for her mouth, so they're always going to go for the brightest sections to be around her mouth, because her mouth is her strongest feature on her face. So I mean, she does tend to wear ash quite well, if you ask me. She has that blue eyes. She has, especially when she makes her skin fair. Like, you'll see she has quite a tan there, so she's tanned up for that one. That's why it works. And you can see here now she's not tan, she's fair, you know, but you can see how lovely her skin looks. And her mouth is not as much in play here, because they've gone for like a really, really strong zigzag head of highlights all over, you know. So I'm just doing a base break, so it will just be to shift it one shade, so it'll just be pastel. Because anything brighter than that, it'll go orange. Like, you can't push it. You can only go with what it'll give you, you know. You can only get a little bit of a lift, you know, a little bit of a lift. I thought she was square as well, but actually when I put her up beside her, Marta, she was oval. It is actually oval. You know, it is amazing when the computers are always right. You know what I mean? But I do like the ash on Cameron. But I love it when it's a softer blonde. Here she is slightly longer, and they've kept her roots quite darker, and then they face framed her out like that. Hiya, Rob, how's it going? They face framed her out here. I do think this is too bright up here, and I think it's bringing it's bringing all this into play, and it would be better if this was darker further down here. Or I just think her hair's a bit too long here. I don't think it's... Hiya, Sherry, how's it going? I don't think it suits her, but I love the tone. You know, I love the tone. No, it's you know what, you'll just get used to after a while. You just get used to looking at them. You get like and so another oval is I don't think Cameron can wear her hair long. You know what I mean? I just don't think it suits her long, personally. I think her hair is much better here we go. I think her hair is much better at this sort of length. You know what I mean? I just think, hi, Sherry, good morning to you from Australia. I think her hair is miles better at this sort of length, you know? Right here. It just really suits her. And when her hair gets long like that, the next one's long as well. It just seems to take from her face shape, you know, and you can see the sort of ovalness of it there. You know, you can see what they mean about her face. But see, with Marta, with makeup and contouring, you can make somebody look like really any face shape you want to with the right contouring makeup. The way they do it these days is actually incredible, you know. A good Scotch, yeah. Use celebs. We've got to use celebs. We've got to get clients off Instagram looking at you know, crazy stuff, trying to sell metallic colours just off the back of it and crazy stuff. We got to go back to the classics, you know, super like models. Yeah, you see it. I know, isn't it mad? Look, you can see it there. See, she's such an oval face, you know, and quite triangular. Cara Delevingne has a beautiful triangular face. You know, so that, who else has she went dark actually as well. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen her dark. She went dark. Her eyes looked amazing, but her face, it sort of didn't work with her face, you know. Her eyes looked, let me make it bigger for you. Okay. See, her eyes looked amazing because she's got these amazing sky blue eyes, but then her face shape again, it just shows you like you can knock it out. You can knock it out of it's knocked out of the park. It's a brilliantly done colour, and her haircut is terrific. And I mean, there's not a drop of warmth in it there, considering she probably went down from blonde. It's like you'd have to hand it to the colours, hat off, and it kicks on her eyes. But does it work on the rest of her? It just doesn't. It actually takes from her features because she has very strong features. So it just seems to take from the features. Here she is with her classic look again. It doesn't suit her long. I think she needs to be cutting it around here, and I hate the bright section right here. I just think it brings my eye to right here. So I just would much prefer if that was, I don't know, just not there. You know, just not there. Just not there. And if you show those things to clients, they get them. They understand. They get them quite quickly. They understand. But this is my favourite on her. Like, ashy, short, choppy, broken into one length, great in her skin, great in her eyes, beautiful all over, classic head of highlights, bit of a base break there to make her not look as dark as she actually is. It does drown her, you're right, Charlie, it does, you're so right. But for me, this is just like, and it's so simple, it's so much easier. So it's a beautiful head of highlights, so simple, such a beautiful head of highlights. And it just really works on her. Look at her, like, it just looks amazing on her. You know, so not everything has to be balayage, and not everything has to be... So if you introduce your clients to these type of things, then you'll have a very busy salon with a busy chair. It doesn't have to be long hair, ringlets with... I'm making a mess of their hair. Listen, you know, we just need... There needs to be a call to action to get... You know, to understand that this is the real world and how amazing the real world is, rather than just getting stuck into these, like people are telling you what trends are and all that. You know what trend is and what makes you look beautiful, okay? That's what trend is, makes you look beautiful. And another girl with an oval face is Kylie Minogue. And again, you'll see what I'm saying. This is her blonde all over, and I think it's awful on her personally. You know what I mean? She's really quite dark, and I just don't think it does anything for her. I mean, she's a very attractive girl. She's beautiful face, beautiful mouth, and she's been this colour nearly all her life, and I've never liked it. I've never liked it. I don't know why, you know. And I would often use people who don't have the best hair in the world, because Kylie doesn't have the best hair in the world. I would often use her as an analogy. Do you think Kylie would have her hair like that colour? Both highlights are on top. See, they're two different techniques, Martha, so hopefully we've got time. I'll go into different techniques, because I'm gonna start showing the text next. So this was not quite nice though. When she had it in just a sort of soft boho kind of hair color, and it was actually toned down a little bit, and it was still warmer. I think it's nicer on her skin. It was hard to find good hair from Kylie. She doesn't have good hair, so she's had to work hard to make it work. You know, she doesn't have the best hair in the world, but with an oval shape. You know, but with an oval shape, you can see that it is more of an all-over colour. Hiya, Joe, how's it going? It's more of an all-over colour. But here, she released and launched her own set of glasses a few years, and she actually cut her hair up a little bit for the shoot because she wanted to show off the glasses. And lo and behold, did we find what actually really worked on camera. And the problem was the length of her hair, because she's such a small oval face. Boom. Boom. Look. Boom. Now, I have to say her makeup is incredible and the glasses are great. Like, her collection of glasses are actually amazing. But look at her hair. So many girls are addicted to longer hair for no reason. It did nothing for her. It just aged her. It always looked dry. It always looked in bad condition. Look at that. Look for an oval face shape. The choppy bob or the choppy lob with a side sweep and fringe is the way to go. Cut it off. That is, I mean, look at it. It is gorgeous. And her glasses are actually beautiful. I'd recommend them. Like, look at that. Isn't that just to die for? You know, so again, it's a thing to show clients who don't have brilliant hair and go, look at what happens when Kylie cut it shorter. And they go, boom, they mightn't do it that day, but you'll plant the seed. And if you plant the seed, that's half the battle, you know? She did go darker in the brown there at one stage, and I loved it on her. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous on her. But everybody knew Kylie as being blonde and she didn't stay dark for long. But I thought it was absolutely gorgeous on her. I thought it was really nice on her, you know? Thought it was really nice on her. But again, she's wearing contacts. She's wearing green contacts. You'll see she's wearing green contacts for the shoot to make it work. So they do everything to make it work. So this is a kind of... But this kind of shows you how all these different celebrities and all these different people... I do love Kylie, though. I think she's a terrific girl, self-made, and done everything for ourselves. So you can see how many different types of highlighting there was in there. And probably my favourite was Lily Aldridge's little back comb weave, you know. So that's like getting a section, back comb it 3 or 4 times, and then with what you're left with, you weave. And you put that in a packet and close it up. And it just hardly takes in the right area. So it's really, back comb weaves are really, really good for doing if you're not going to put anything on the natural hair and you don't want to tone the hair, you know, because they'll be so fine and they'll be so wispy. You won't even really need to tone them. So the technique you choose is just as important as everything else. So you have to think of different types of highlights, you know, different types of highlights. So you have weaves, you know, regular weaves. You've got baby lights, which is taking a weave, weaving it, then reweaving it again. So it's half the size of what it was. That's what a baby light is. It's like a weave that's reweaved, which gives you a baby light, so you can hardly see them. So they're super fine, you know. Then you have slices. As you could see, the face frame for Jennifer Anderson was a slice at the front. A lot of people like to do a slice, then they like to do a baby light, then they like to do a slice, and that gives you a face frame through the front. So you can have a slice here, or I like to do a zigzag, which I'll show you a shape of. Some people like to do, I just cut it off. So it's very blunt. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I had somebody else's line. Okay. It just happens. We all do these stuff, Charlie. We all do these stuff. So then you have back comb balayage, which is like you're back combing half the section away, and what's left behind, then you V it out into a balayage, and the back comb diffuses the line. Again, if you don't want to put too much colour on their own hair, that works really well. So you could do baby lights, you could do a slice, weave, slice, then you could do back comb weave on the ends of her hair. Then you could do... So you can mix up all these techniques to create all these different shapes. And then you can put a melt on afterwards to create the shape as well with it. So it doesn't all have to be like balayage, or it doesn't all have to be full head of highlights, or it doesn't all have to be slices, or it doesn't all have to be weaves, or it doesn't all have to be streaks, or it doesn't all have to be zigzags. Now, zigzags are something that I do a lot of. So they're like little pyramids. So they're little pyramids, and I have a video up there, but I'll put them up again. So you're taking a tail comb, and you're going up like a zigzag like that, and then you take it out. So you've got 3 or 4 pyramids, and you take the top off the pyramid and put it in, and you'll get a specific shape highlight. So the highlight shape will be like that. So it'll go like that. They don't get as close to the root, obviously, because they're a pyramid, but you don't need them that close to the root because of the shape of them. They just come out like a ribbon. So they're they're something I'd be really well known for. But this is what's the important thing for you guys in your salon, wherever you are, is that if you can mix up your techniques where you think, I'm going to do some baby lights, I'm going to do some slices, I'm going to do some weaves, I'm going to do some back comb weaves, I'm going to do some back comb balayage, and I'm going to melt it all together, you can create a completely signature colour that no other salon can copy. You know, like we have very specific looks we do in my salon, you know. So even if somebody was to give them a colour card, there's no way it would look like that, because it would just say, you know, 936 and 80 background with blonde or and 6%, but it actually is like a face frame with zigzags on the side, with a back comb, weave, with back comb balayage, all mixed together, and it makes your job. It makes you a visual artist. So that's why I'm showing you all these pictures, and we're looking at these pictures, because you can see how like, and watch some people who do the same thing all the time, and every head is different. You know, like Tracy Cunningham has an approach, and visually every head looks completely different. She's a brilliant visual artist, you know what I mean? So she'll mix up her different highlight techniques and her different shapes, but a brilliant visual artist. So you need to think about things from a visual standpoint, and that's why the pictures that we're showing tonight are so good, because what made Lily Aldridge's hair was the technique, how well done they were, and that was a back comb. That was a back comb weave, you know. So she back combed, and sometimes I've seen for her hair where they've back comb and done a weave, took it out, then got the section again, back comb and weaved it, and went a little bit higher. So there's 2 little graduated back comb waves. So one is sort of here and the other one's down here. And you're looking at that thinking that was just a bit of balayage, but it's actually huge detailing of two different sizes. And then you have balayage as well. So, I mean, you can then put your packets on, you can paint in between the packets, and you watch somebody like Lee on the page or Jane, or, you know, you can watch what they do as well. So there's so much you can do technically. So much that you can do to make your work completely signatured. And if your work is completely signatured, you charge for it, okay? You charge a lot of money for that. If you're able to visually make somebody look beautiful, like we've looked at all these pictures tonight, and we've seen all the different face shapes, and they're all the different techniques and what works and what doesn't work and what looks nice. I mean, I would pay a lot of money for somebody to make sure that I looked really good like that. And you can see even the celebrities would. So by starting to think about hair colour like in this way, you'll love your job much more so. I mean, the only time my blood pressure goes down is when I'm doing hair colour. You know, you'll love your job because you'll be seeing. I think it's important that we all work and do it. It's like chefs, that we all do our own work, Angela, that we all do our own. But to think about, you know, slices, weaves, baby lights, just curved slices. I don't know if you've ever seen she-shaped slices, you know, that can go, they just go around the head for certain hair colours. I love when colour has skip spaces. Okay, so that's the darkness in between. Sherry, yes, that's what I did a colour cycle last time. I never did. It'll take practice. I couldn't tell. It didn't look good. You couldn't tell. Nicola, it takes practice. It takes practice. A lot of people just think they can do something once, and it's a bit like, it's like Anton. A lot of people go to the gym and they're leaving wondering why they don't have a washboard stomach. The washboard stomach is a year away, you know. Or if you're like me, hiya Mark, if you're like me, it's never going to have arrived, because you'll go home and have a big full Irish breakfast and boom, it's not going to happen. But like the zigzag technique that I did in my salon, I'd say it took me, to do it at the level I do it, I'd say it took me about, I don't know, 3 years. 3 years of pure practice and refinement to understand how to get it perfectly around somebody's face. Definitely years. It wasn't months, and it certainly wasn't weeks. It was relentless practice, and looking at pictures like this and looking at what people works and understanding the shapes and knowing again which technique to pick for which face shape or for which skin tone. Sometimes grade 80 streaks really worked like they did in Cameron's hair. Or light and dark on one strand. I love light and dark on one strand. I love what they call is the vacant spaces, Martha, you know, the darkness in between the light. But certainly to look at these areas here for a lot of people is where they need highlights, and that comes from all here. The hair here and the hair here, you know, and the hair here, all around here. It doesn't come from here and here and here, and most certainly not here, because you need that to show off your cheekbones, you know, that type of stuff. So it takes to really, like, if you do a good class like in balayage, or a good class in a zigzag, and you talk to somebody and spend a day with them and you go back, you know, I see people then saying, oh well, what's next? And I'm like, they should be going back and practicing that technique for a year. They should be going back. I mean, just to learn how to do slices, like look at Jennifer Aniston's face frame, the slices at the front. Look at how perfect they were done. You know, it takes years to be able to refine a look so perfectly. That so go easy on yourselves. It's amazing that we have the colours we have, Michael. Like, it's amazing. Like, we would have never been able to do so much that we do now. I have a video up there. I'll throw it up there again, and I have a video. I'll put it back up, and I'll tag you on it. I'll stick it back up. But it's very, very, yeah. So it's like little mini pyramids. It's like little mini pyramids. But again, you need to be able to do it. You need to be able to melt around it and all that type of stuff around it. So just like so much tonight, Mother of God, so much in this, isn't it? It's like we've struck oil, looking at face shapes and stuff like that. But to start thinking about the different types of highlighting, you know, weaves, baby lights, slices, C-curved slices, chunky weaves, back comb weaves, back comb balayage, back comb slices, zigzags, you know, painted bits on the ends. There's so much that you can do from a technique point of view. and then you can match the colours to suit their skin tones and their eye colours and everything around that. But that if you can create all these different looks to suit the face shapes and to suit the skin tones with your technique, and then use your colours to, that because these days we have so many, like Michael said there, we have, just the 9s in Colour Touch now. The choice in the 9s in the Colour Touch is just unbelievable. You've 916, you've 997, you've 996, you've 881 and 1081, which makes a 981, you've 901, you've 916, you've 903, you've 936, you've 903 with a drop of 034. You've 973. Just in the 9s, you've all those choices. 973, 871 and 10 makes a 971, which is a beaut as well. So just in the 9s there, all your toning abilities are just across the board. You have just so many choices right across the board. That years ago you would have had like light gold, light beige, light ash. That's it. Did you buy a 981? Yeah, but 981's a nice tone. That's just in Colour Touch. That's just in Colour Touch. There's just so many colours. You would have just had light gold, light beige, light ash. Now you've got 904. Is there a 904 in Colour Touch? I don't think there is. I wish there was. It's a 904 in Colliston. I just love working the haircuts, and I love working the face shapes, and I love working and seeing a little area around the front and back home and that, and just making it blonder here and seeing a little bit, and knowing that I'm creating. Oh yeah, well, I'm glad we've helped you, Michelle. God love you in the hospital. God, I don't know how far on have you. Is it a lighter version of 781? Is it There's there's no other company that has the colour like Wella. Nothing, nowhere, nothing. There's nothing out there that can, there's no like champagne violets, champagne violet brunettes, oysters, oyster beiges, oyster violets, oyster brunettes. I'm thinking the 936, the 916. 10.6 but 9.16. It just goes on and on. We're just so blessed. We're so blessed here to have the products we have, and it's the reason why the page is so successful, is because there's so much choices and so many different colours for people to do and stuff. I had a few more things tonight, but I think we've done enough tonight, kind of stuff. So it seems to me that maybe we could do with a few little videos and techniques, like you'd like to see a back comb weave. Catch up tomorrow. Maybe see a back comb weave, a back comb balayage, a slice, a weave, a baby light. There's others. Hiya Lee, how's it going, my man? Hope you're keeping well. Christmas season coming in. I'm expecting to see some mental posts from you, still in the shop at 2:00 in the morning doing a perm. I know what you're like, Lee. You're mad for the few quid. Lee'll be open. Lee'll be open now 24 hours for the whole month. Wait to see. I have pictures of Lee like that at 2 a.m. Okay, Lee's, you're a warrior. Can't believe you're still on. Just got home shattered. I really enjoy my time with you guys. And as I say, I have another page of stuff here, but I won't do. I had another thing on sections, okay? Sections. And you can do highlights through these sections, through squares, through pyramids, through rectangulars. Then you can put C curves. Then you can put pyramids. You can do curved slices. You can do sideways curves through here. You can do zigzags through a square layer. And you can do little pyramid diamonds. This is one of my favourite things to do. And I'll show you how to do this. Where you can pivot across the head and do like a red and do a brown and do a blonde and do a red and do a brown and do a blonde. And you go all the way across the head, and you can create you can create so many different looks by just pivoting around the head. And I do love doing especially on bobs, real sleek graduated bobs. And we have a surprise for you coming up now. Well, I'm just opening up, Martha. I'm just freehand. I'm talking, I'm just like starting to go. So there's so many stuff. So within sections, you can do curved slices. You could do zigzags. You could do weaves. You could do slices. There's so much that There's so much that's gonna come, guys. There's so much that's gonna come. We're gonna revolutionise the business here just from our phones. We're gonna be just the standard of hairdressing that's going to be coming off this page is going to be incredible, okay? And we're all going to get together, and it's going to be boom. We're going to blow people's minds, because the everyday is everything, and the everyday is where, and if people you can do the most dynamic hair on anyone in any way. You can imagine the shapes. I want you to think about these things. I want you to dream about them, okay? Dream about curved slices. Imagine how, on a half moon section. So you can imagine down the side of somebody's head if you had a curved slice of violet, and then you had a curved slice of red, and then it sits over in a bob. It's like nothing you've ever seen. It's like nothing you've ever seen. And Jason Gray, who's on the page, did one in the early 90s for Hairdressers International, and he did like C-curved sections all the way around the sides of the head. So it was like a copper, and it was into red, and it went back into blonde, and it went back into oyster, and they fell down onto that girl's hair, and I am telling you now, incredible. And the shape of them around the head shape, so they were all curved, and they just pivoted and went bigger. So the only thing that's stopping us from doing amazing work is ourselves, okay? And I'm not going to let that happen, because we are the power. We are the power. Tonight I have a very special surprise for you. Mr. Nick Khan has made you another fabulous video. It's an A-line graduated bob, and it also has a root melt in it with metallic colours going through it. So he's done another beautiful video for you. Nick is just a terrific guy, and he's coming to Lanzarote. He's going to be there when I'm in Lanzarote with my kids at Christmas, so we're going to get to spend a bit of time with him and Tracy. And there's rumour young Ollie might be coming over as well, the young fella, God love us. But Nick has done a fantastic video that he's going to drop online for you tonight when I'm finished, just to keep you stimulated. Dream about these different sections, guys. Dream about different things that you can do, different shapes that you can do, and fall in love with them, knowing that Mr. Nick Khan has taken time out of his day to show you a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful haircut, A-line graduated, and a root melt into metallic colours, which is absolutely to die for. So I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. So it'll be uploading the video now, so make sure you all watch it. And I'll be back next week. I was out for dinner last night, so I did quite well, guys, didn't I, considering, but I wasn't drinking, because I didn't I wanted to talk to you tonight. It's very important. It's part of my life now. So I wanted to be here for you. But now when I'm finished, I'm going to go and have a glass of vino collapso. I might let my kids now run up and down the stairs. So I hope you enjoyed it. Think about sections. Think about diamonds. Think about curves. Think about everything that you can do. Think about weaves, zigzags, back comb, balayage, back comb weaves. Think about all the stuff you can do, and don't limit yourself, okay? Don't limit yourself, and start to think about face shapes. Yeah, I've watched a little bit of The Irishman, Tracy. Actually, just before I go, guys, I'm going to show you the, I don't know, because Tracy, you just reminded me there. I'm going to show you what I feel is the face of Christmas, okay? This is the face of Christmas, okay? This is going to be, I am truly, truly, truly in love with this little guy, okay? So I want you to see this and fall in love, okay? This is Baby Yoda, okay? Have you seen Baby Yoda? Oh my God, my heart. Look at him. Isn't he to die for? Look at him. This is Baby Yoda. It's a new Star Wars TV show, and he is, look at him. It's called The Mandalorian. Look at him. He's actually 50. Look at him then out for a walk. Look at him. Look at him out for a walk. I can't stop thinking about him, Tracy. I can't stop talking about him. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. So the TV show is called The Mandalorian. I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's out here legally yet, but somebody told me about it, if you know what I'm saying. Baby Yoda's in it. And trust me when I tell you, he is about to go viral. He is about to go viral, because I put up a picture the other day of him, and I had people private messaging me. I had a guy who's one of the biggest personal coaches in the world, who's a good friend of mine, Mike, got on to me saying, man, I've got to find out where I can find that Baby Yoda, you know? So he's gonna go viral. Enjoy Nick's video. Have a great week. Start thinking about hot seats and interviewing. We're going to do stuff with different members on the page, lots of stuff. How would you colour him? He's got this little fluff on the top of his head, but I'd work those ears, Martha. I'd work those ears and those big brown eyes. Only Jessica Alba has eyes that are even close to him. Or Lily. But no, he's the one. He's the one for me. He is Mr. Christmas this year for me. Okay, guys. Glad I could help. Glad you liked listening to the advice. Thanks for staying on. Have a great evening. Think about all the different ways you can colour somebody's hair. There's no need to just go in and be a robot. There's loads you can do. And the important thing is to stay with people who make you better at your job. And that's what we do here. If you want to stay fit, you got to stay in the gym. And if you want to stay doing good hair, you got to stay in the community. Stay in the community. Look at the pictures. Support each other. So work those ears, those eyes, support each other, look at each other's pictures, because if you stay in the game, then you get better at what you do. If you step back, you just atrophied and you get smaller. So you know, the more you were involved, the more you post yourself and the more you help other people, the more you think about it and you watch the Sunday services, the better you will get and the happier you will be. Okay? That's a guarantee. Okay? See you next week, guys. Love you all. God bless. Thanks again. Enjoy next video. Okay? I'm going to watch it myself. Boom. See you later.